everybody. I am Kyle Outridge. Welcome to the Canada Gift Association Insider. To introduce our first guest, our inaugural guest on the show, I want to introduce Moni from Koopslie Consulting. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, no, thank you for joining me. I think you're going to be a great first guest to the show, considering your background with the Canadian Gift Association and all you've done and all you continue to do. So for our listeners, give them a little bit of an intro, who you are, your business, and we will go from there.
Absolutely. So my business, Koopslie Consulting, I started it actually in February 2020, so right before the pandemic hit. And it's a consulting business in which I help makers, brands, designers sell their products to retailers.
Awesome. Well, that's a little bit of a different market, and you're based in Alberta, I do believe, if I'm correct. So serving the Alberta market to all of our Alberta home gift and home market listeners. The lady out there that you want to know in the consulting business, what inspired you to create your company? What gave you the inspiration behind becoming?
So one of the things that happened is that I actually had two different product businesses, and I tried a lot of different things to get my products onto store shelves. And at the time when I was trying to do that, I really had to figure everything out on my own. And once I got my products into 600 stores in 2 years. So a lot of people started coming to me and asking me, how did you do that? How did you do that? So I ended up actually selling that business in January 2020 and starting this consulting business because I really didn't want people to keep thinking, how did you do that? I really wanted them to know, like, this is the process. This is what you can do to grow your business, to get your products into retail stores.
Yeah, and I was looking at I'm doing a little bit of background work and stuff and looking at your business. I see that your model is directed to selling without social media. What does that kind of entail, and what was it like kind of breaking into that market?
So I think right now there's a lot of people who are really struggling with social media. Even yesterday, I think, October 31st, a ton of people lost their Instagram accounts. There's been all these issues with people taking years and years to grow their accounts and then nothing happening. Like the last 2 years was busy and then things have died down and brands don't know what to do. So I have an online program in which I teach people how to sell their products to retailers without social media, because I think as brand owners, there are so many things that we already have to do. We already have to, develop our products. We have to make sales. And then now with social, you have to make videos, and they're time consuming. A lot of brands, I think, struggle with that piece. So they're spending a ton of time making reels or TikToks and not getting, the reach that they wanted to. So I teach them another way that's simpler, because that's the way I actually grew my business. I stopped doing all the things in my business and just focused on wholesale. And that's how my business was able to grow so quickly. So I just show people how they can do that.
Wow, that's amazing. So consulting, teaching, you are the jack of all trades over there. That's pretty impressive, I must say. How long have you been in the consulting and stuff like that? I know you said you sold your business previously, your other business. How long have you been in consulting? What are some of the highlights and some of the challenges?
Money. So it's been about 2.5 years. And initially I started out purely consulting, working with brands one-on-one. But what I realized is I kept giving people the same advice. Like I would tell this brand to do this thing, and then I would tell this other brand to do the same thing, because they were having very similar challenges, regardless of where they were, whether they were just starting selling to retailers or whether they were already selling to retailers. So I did consulting for a bit, and then I actually decided that, I want to help more people. So that's what made me create like my online program, because I wanted to be able to help more people so people can sign up whenever they feel like it's their good fit, whenever they have the time, versus having to coordinate like one-on-one.
Yeah.
And then also, not everybody can afford to hire a consultant. So I wanted to make it affordable. I know some people that are just starting out, they have to be kind of scrappy, right? They have to invest their money where it makes the most sense. So so that's why I now really focus on my program.
Well, that's impressive, and it's definitely a great tool and an added way to get people into the industry and help them navigate it. Because like you said, it can be a tough industry to get involved with. Retail and wholesale and all that stuff is not an easy industry. So to have somebody guiding you is definitely awesome. So I can see why your company has flourished, and you've definitely had some success, I must say. Let's shift it a little bit to the Canadian Gift Association. Like I said, you've been a member of the association prior to this year, and still are. How long have you been a member or a part of the association? And just speak to us about what it's been like being a part of the Canadian Gift Association.
For sure. So actually, the Canadian Gift or the Alberta Gift Show was the very first trade show that I ever
Awesome.
did.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna say that was probably 10 years ago. Like it's been a while.
Awesome.
So, and at the beginning, I had a line of baby hats, and I approached a couple of retailers, and like I approached 5 stores, 4 of them bought, and I thought, okay, I think maybe I need to do something else. I need to like get these into stores, and I knew the gift show was coming, so I signed up. And I didn't know how to do anything. Like I didn't know how to have a great booth. I still have a picture of that first booth. But what happened was I made so many contacts. I met so many buyers. I got way more orders than I anticipated, which was so cool as a starting brand. I ended up opening accounts there that were my accounts for like 8 years, some of them. So it was really, really cool. And I made some really good friends. And because I didn't know how to do anything, I asked a lot of questions, and I asked, the vendors that were there that had been there for a long time, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And that was kind of like where I started my learning process. At that show, I got approached by, at the time, Erica, who's now the editor of In-Store magazine. She was working for CanGift, and she approached me. She asked me for some samples, and she ended up featuring my product on like a 1 or a 2-page spread. It was best in the West, and I was number 1. That was huge for my business. So again, that got me so much more new business. And then I had to sort of step back from business. My daughter had some health issues. It was actually right after that show. Things exploded, and then she had health problems. So as a business owner, I had to step back. But when I was stepping back in and thinking like, what do I want to do with this business? How am I going to keep it going? I knew that wholesale was the way to go. And then I went all in. I went to Toronto. I did the gift show there, which was so amazing. I had a lineup to my booth. I mean, I did some things before the show to make sure that lineup was going to be there, but I had a lineup to my 5x10 booth. I got like so many orders on that first show, and I knew that like this is definitely a great show. Like I attended that show every 6 months, because it helped me, and it helped me, see my clients, meet new people. Just, it was so great.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. I mean, great insight for our listeners, and to those that are out there. I mean, that testimonial right there just speaks to the volume of what you can get out of the show if going about it the right way. And all you got to do is start. I mean, like you said, it wasn't the most professional looking booth to start, but you got out there, and you made the connections, and look at where we are today. I mean, I'm just going to roll this right into my next question for you. You basically touched on motion. What's the exposure been like for you, continuously going on? After the first show, has it been steady? Have you continued to grow, and just touch on that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. My business continued to grow. I made, like, every time I would go to a show, I would not only open new accounts, but also continue to build relationship with retailers that I already had, plus retailers that were potential retailers that maybe weren't quite ready. So I had a stream of business. And I also think that one of the things that I did is, again, like, I like to dig in and really learn what's going on. And I saw that the Canadian Gift Association had opportunities at the shows as well as of outside the shows. And I was always the one putting up my hand and saying, you know, I'm interested in this. And so I think because I was open to getting help, I also was getting help, and people were noticing my business because of it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. You know, you're getting the help, you know, and getting out, but you're also providing them. So it's a win-win. I just love the story. That's a great way to look at it. I know also you touched on it in talks before the show. You won an award, I believe it was in 2016. I think we definitely got to share that because that's pretty big and pretty significant for you. What was the award for, and how did that help you in your business?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to tell you this story. So
Yes, please.
I'm getting a phone call from the Canadian Gift Association. I can't remember the name of the person that called me, but they called me about the award, and I misunderstood. I thought it meant, yeah, I'm in the running.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh, great. So when do we find out the winner? And they said, no, you're the winner. I was like, what? I honestly had a cry of joy. I'm not even kidding. It was such a big deal to me to get that award. That award opened up so many doors for my business. It made my business look so credible. You know, I ended up getting so much press. Like, I know CanGift put out press releases. I was featured in other publications because they found out about me. So it was so huge. That award was huge. And I remember thinking, there's no way I'm going to win, because it was the retailers who were voting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was new. It was my first year. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to win. But then I decided I'm just going to go for it. And I won.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. So it was the 2016 was a small business. What was the exact award? Just so
It was the Small Supplier of the Year award.
Yeah, that's in 2016, correct? Well,
that's right.
So that's amazing. I mean, and you said your first show, you know, you're coming in. What a way to be rewarded, I guess you could say, in a sense. Just one of the many great, ways that we can help, and things that are out there as benefits for our members and our vendors. It is a big task, so it's nice to see people get rewarded. And I mean, what way to get rewarded in your first year, not knowing what to expect? That's pretty crazy. So that's awesome. I just wanted to share that with everybody. Moni, I mean, you have an amazing story. I definitely want to direct everybody to your pages, and definitely give her a follow, and Koopslie Consulting a follow as well. A great brand. You're doing a great job from what I can see. Definitely getting a lot of traffic, and you're definitely helping the Canadian Gift Association. In closing it, before we get closed up here, I just wanted to give everybody a chance. Where can they find you? Where can they look for you? Give them your social medias, all that good jazz, so we make sure we get everybody following
for
you.
Sure. For sure. So my website is koopslieconsulting.com. If you go on my website, I have a free wholesale class. So make sure you sign up for that. Check it out. You can learn about what my wholesale approach is. And if you are interested in signing up, then you'll know. If you want to work with me, you'll know by watching the class. I'm also on Instagram at Koopslie Consulting, and I'm just starting to get into TikTok, but I think I only have maybe one video, so I'm just going to leave it.
TikTok's a whole nother avenue. As a social media guy, I'm still TikTok is still a new thing for me as well, so don't feel bad. Other than that, Moni, I just wanted to say thank you for joining us on the first show and being our first guest. I know you've got a lot of work to do. I'm sure you're getting prepped for the next shows that are coming up. I hope to see you there. I'm sure we will. So make sure you're checking out Koopslie Consulting, and make sure you follow them. Moni, again, thank you so much for joining me. And we look forward to chatting with you again in the future.
Thank you so much.
No.